guys. Today we're gonna talk about the effects of inflections on engineering industry. So what is inflection? Inflation can be defined as a sustainable increase in general levels of prices of goods or services. So as inflation rises, every single dollar you own buys a smaller percentage of goods or services. So inflation isn't intrinsically good or bad. Like so many things in our life, the impact of inflections depends on your own situations. So I'm gonna pass to my team to talk about the effects of inflections on engineering industry.
Inventory is actually in terms of goods and raw materials used to produce goods available for sale. So introducing inventory turnover ratio, which is ITR. So it actually shows how effectively a business stocks and sells their products. So if the higher the ITR, most of the inventory was sold during a given period. And the business managed its inventory well, just enough products to meet the customer's demand. So if it's for the lower ITR, it means that the business actually stocked more products than it could actually sell during the given period, which is really bad due to surpluses incur, unnecessary storage and maintenance costs, which decreases the profitability. Okay, so now we come into how does inflation affect the inventory? There is no simple way to actually predict how does inflation affect the inventory. There is no actual simple way to predict the actual effects of inflation on the inventory. So there is two possibilities, either decreasing or increasing. So we'll start with decreasing first. For decreasing, it actually might beef up the inventory as the price is going low. Meaning, they will actually, when the price is going low, they will actually buy a lot. Okay, so there's two ways the business might actually increase. First of all, which is when they buy when the prices are very low, and when they sell when the prices are going high. And the second point is, as they are buying large amount of stock at once by reducing the cost. So now we come to increasing. Stores actually sells out more quickly. Theoretically, as the prices increase, the demand decrease. And due to fears of inflation, runaway inflation occurs. So the stores actually can't raise the price fast or high enough, so usually the products flies off the shelf fast.
Okay, next up, I'm gonna talk about operation and maintenance. Now, there are two types of inflation here, as you can see on the left or on my right. This is mild inflation and this is hyperinflation. And I'm gonna talk about mild inflation first. So with mild inflation, it's gonna stimulate production. Why is that? Because of demand, of course. When customers want higher demands, there are more employments, and that results in growth in economies. With more demand, everything is good. Economic growth, and the country is gonna be all well. So next up is gonna be hyperinflation. Now, what this is about hyperinflation, is that in a short amount of time span, there's a lot of inflation. So that hence the word hyperinflation. What the effects of that is, as you can see, the money is gonna drop. And what I mean by that is, let's say you buy a bread for $1, and after hyperinflation, that bread is gonna cost $5. So what it means, in other words, is your money has less value. And this is gonna make people demand more paychecks, and that is gonna lead to bad stuff, of course, which I will explain later. And next is gonna be the material costs. Since inflation, everyone is going to demand more, and by demanding more, the materials cost is going to shoot up. It's going to sky high. So what that means is everything that makes money is going to make less since it costs more to buy materials. And furthermore, since I'm talking about maintenance here, everything adds up, from the paychecks of higher paychecks and higher material costs. It's gonna lead to more maintenance costs, obviously, since everything is sky high, which is bad. So that's about sums up operation and
Hi, today I'm going to talk about the effects of inflation on manufacturing of an industry. First, it disrupts the price system. Inflation disrupts the smooth working of price mechanisms, creates rigidities, and results in wrong allocation of resources. After that, it also reduces the saving. When the prices increase, the power of purchasing of money will fall down, which means that more money is required to buy the same quality of items. Furthermore, it also reduces the volume of production. This is because the capital accumulation has slowed down, and business uncertainty discourages the entrepreneurs from taking risks on production. And finally, the quality of the product will fall down. Inflation creates sellers' market in which sellers have command on prices because of excessive demand. In such market, everything can be sold. Since the producer's interest is higher profit, they don't care about for the quality of the goods. That's all for my point of the effects of inflation on manufacturing of an industry. Thank you.
I would like to talk about the effect of inflation on procurement in the engineering industry. Procurement is the process of acquiring goods, services, or works from an external source, often via a tendering or competitive bidding process. The process is used to ensure the buyer receives goods and services at the best possible price. Almost all purchasing decisions include factors such as marginal profit and price fluctuations. Procurement generally involves making buying decisions under conditions of scarcity. If good data is available, it is good practice to make use of economic analysis methods such as cost-benefit analysis or cost-utility analysis. For instance, let's discuss about the automotive industry. The automotive industry relies heavily on the supply chains and procurement. Let's think about it. Thousands of parts and components go into making an automotive. A huge variety of these components are sourced from third-party manufacturers, and that is why the process of procurement is indispensable in the supply chain. When there is inflation, the purchasing power of a company will decrease significantly. When there are problems with products or material received through procurement and the supply chain, the impact on the automotive manufacturers can be catastrophic. The company will have to use their last resort, which is to recall. A recall is when an automotive company has to replace a faulty component on any of their products. Products that, if not replaced, can sometimes have serious consequences. Therefore, it is very important to carry out the analysis for procurement so that the maximum profit can be attained. Every now and then, new safety regulations imposed on the car industry are contributing to the inflation increase and pushing up the rates of car finance. The increment is due to the automobile industry having to pay more to get the supply for manufacturing to keep up with the market. Since these situations are unavoidable, it is best to prepare beforehand so as to improve procurement management.
Okay, here we come to the conclusions. We can conclude that inflation is a sustainable increase in general levels of price for goods and service. When inflation go up, there's a decline in value or purchasing power of money. Inflation is measured with a price index. The two main groups of price indexes that measure inflation are the consumer price index and the producer's price indexes. The GDP and price deflectors are also used. In the long term, stocks and previous metals are good protection against inflation. Inflation is a serious problem for fixed income investors. it's important to understand the difference between nominal interest rate and real interest rate. Inflation index securities offers protection against inflations but offer low returns.